system in their favor. Protect Ohio's voice. Vote no on Issue 1. Paid for by Ohio Works.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Heading through today, it's another warm one. We're going 80 for the high temperature. Plenty of sunshine expected this afternoon. Partly cloudy tonight, lows around 60. Warm on your Halloween, high 78. Increasing clouds with a few late day showers. We'll be looking at rain moving in between 2 p.m. and 9 p.m. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 weather impact forecasts on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365 is the exclusive online sportsbook of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
A perfect afternoon parlay. This is Rothman and Ice.
All right, shout out to Josh, who brought we deal with wins and losses on this show, but he did remind me, yes, you certainly can finish 500 because if you tie a game, he's right. He's right. You'd have to be 8-8-1. So CB gets the point. Put the point on the board for CB. And Josh, we appreciate you being the associate producer today because that is correct. Now, if you asked me when the last tie was, it certainly has been in the last year or two. I don't remember one. There probably was one in the last 4 years, but I don't. It wasn't a game that I remember. I do know this. When I'm watching overtime, boy, that clock does tend to go fast.
We got 5 minutes extra playing time?
No, you get the 15 minutes, but yeah, you're thinking of hockey.
Yeah, that quick.
The last one, it looks like, was in December of 2022 between the Commanders and Giants.
Okay.
2022 between the Commanders and the Giants.
Yes, we actually had two that season, that game, and then Houston and the Colts also tied.
I think to avoid ties, what I would want to do is when we run out of time, we have like both head coaches do like a, I don't know, rock, paper, scissors or something. Or arm wrestling or thumb war or something like that. I hate ties. We need winners.
Just a fight in general.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Brass knuckle fight, both coaches.
Yes.
Your favorite, the circle drill.
Not
brass knuckles.
Not bare knuckles. Brass knuckles.
And I'm picking Dan Campbell. He'd be my first overall pick.
I don't even know if you would need him.
Dan Campbell's built different.
He might go bare knuckle brawler.
I don't think any head coach wants to smoke with Dan Campbell. I can't think of anybody. If we put two coaches in the ring right now.
Antonio Pierce?
That's not a bad call. But I think. Am I forgetting somebody? D'Amico Ryans, too, probably would want the smoke.
Scrappy as a head coach.
D'Amico Ryans, too, as a former defender.
D'Amico Ryans.
He'd want the smoke.
I like that call of Houston. That's right. Yeah.
Can't pick any of these.
Gerard Mayo?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. That's a good call.
Okay.
You can't pick any of these coaches that are like the offensive-minded guys.
No.
Quarterbacks. Like, they don't want any of that problem. They don't want those problems. Like your boy Mike McDaniel. I can never get this right. McDaniel in Miami.
Mike McDaniel. Yeah.
Because McDonald is in Seattle. That's always going to whoop my tail.
Seattle's going to be Mike McDonald. Mike McDaniel.
That's what I'm saying.
But no S on either one.
Yeah, but your boy in Miami, he didn't want any smoke.
Yeah, listen, Dan Quinn is by far, Dan Campbell.
He's the guy.
Is by far.
He's the 1-1 on the board.
It's close. There are a couple of the former players that might.
I'll tell you who else.
Guys that could take up some space.
I'll tell you another guy I would have considered, but he got fired as Robert Saleh.
I thought of that name too. He could be a little scrappy, but I think his look may be what's taking over there. He's still in his mid-40s, and I don't know.
He looks like Xerxes from 300. You've seen that movie.
Mm-hmm.
He looks just like that guy.
Yeah. But his attitude might take him far in that contest. Mm-hmm. All right, NFL Comeback Player of the Year. You mentioned this.
I had a question.
Russell Wilson.
Mr. Unlimited.
Can he get in the mix? Is there enough runway left for Russell Wilson to steal the Comeback Player of the Year award? He's off to a 2-0 start.
Mm-hmm.
The numbers are pretty good right out of the gate. Obviously, he's well behind the likes of some of the other guys. And according to Vegas over at Bet365, your favorite on the board right now is Kirk Cousins at plus 175. They don't even have Russell Wilson on the board yet, which is surprising to me. But maybe it shouldn't be because of what I just said with games played. But let's say he does put together another good outing in their next game. I believe they're on bye this week, the Steelers. Can he get in this mix? What does he need to do to make this a legit race with him involved?
He needs to win some games offensively. I mean, they're known as a defensive team. He's playing well. I just don't know how you could vote him over a quarterback that really has his hand in making a team go. But you're right. He should be in the mix. He absolutely should.
Here's why I think he has a chance to do this. They come out of the bye, and then they start getting all these AFC North games popping off. They have not played a divisional game yet. And I guess they could run away with the division at this point, but if they just win the division and he starts stacking up some solid games statistically, his name has to be involved.
It does, but I just don't think he'll win.
Yeah.
I think Kirk Cousins has probably... Where is he on your odds chart?
He's the leader, yeah. He's the leader at plus 175.
Come back from a snapped Achilles and you win a division.
And statistically right now,
that's the other
your
point.
ex is third in the country. Yeah, third in the country. I guess I could say that. We never really say that with the NFL. But he's third in the league in passing yards right now.
So remember when I took him when he was 9-1, was it, last week?
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a great bet based on where he plays, how he plays, who he's got to throw to, the guys that were ahead of him that I didn't expect to stay there. The criteria of this is typically given to somebody that overcomes the most adversity. It's not about just, that's why I didn't think Sam Darnold met any of the criteria. The comeback player of the year isn't coming back from being forgotten or coming back from being bad. It's coming back from adversity. It's injury, mostly.
Because that's what Vegas is telling us. Your top three on the board right now. Kirk Cousins plus 175. J.K. Dobbins plus 450. Joe Burrow is plus 450. So I guess those guys are tied for second. And then tied for third is DeMar Hamlin and Kyler Murray at plus 600. And then CB's guy Nick Chubb at plus 800.
Yeah.
Rodgers is 14-1.
Yeah, it's not an MVP award. It's not something like that. You could admire all of them that have come back from some things, or maybe were the forgotten guy and then somehow overcame the. By the way, it's not overcoming adversity of like narrative. It's overcoming real adversity of injury back to being a viable dude.
No question.
Yep.
The Columbus Men's Clinic is the largest and most experienced men's health practice in Columbus. Did you know that their patients average 3 failures with other places before coming to the Columbus Men's Clinic? If you've been waiting to treat your low T or ED, or maybe you had a bad experience with yet another clinic that opened quickly and closed, it's time to get in there and move forward with your sex life, your career, and gym goals. They specialize in seeing guys who think they're out of luck regain hope that they can be successful in the bedroom and beyond. Seriously, go see the team that for 10 years has been #1 in Ohio for men's health. Stop thinking about it and get in there. Call 614-300-7400. That's 614-300-7400. Or go online to Columbus Men's Clinic ColumbusMen'sClinic.com to book an appointment today. ColumbusMen'sClinic.com.
All right, we come back with our dude, Bobby Carpenter. Buckeyes going to the Beeve. Will it be happy in the Valley? We'll ask him next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
We're the highest rated sports radio station in America. There's no joke there. We just are. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
So are you that person? The one who's been buying over-the-counter insoles just to make whatever shoes you wear cushy? Yep, that was me. Hey, it's Anthony. And before I went to the Good Feet store, my back would kill me if I was on my feet for any serious amount of time. I was told about the Good Feet store's 3-step arch support system. Once I tried them in my shoes, I instantly felt more supported, and honestly, my feet felt aligned perfectly for the first time in forever. And they're fit to me personally. And it's not just comfort. My Good Feet store arch supports are designed to balance and strengthen my feet. They've made such a difference in my life. The Good Feet store has helped many people relieve their pain, obviously me included. No waiting required. Good Feet arch supports are immediately available. Bring in your favorite shoes to the Good Feet store, and they'll personally fit you to ensure your comfort. Go ahead. Take a free test walk today. Good Feet products are proudly made in the USA. They're on Polaris Parkway and on Stringtown Road in Grove City or goodfeet.com.
As Cybersecurity Awareness Month winds down, LifeLock reminds you to update your software regularly. These updates fix security flaws that could be exploited by identity thieves, but don't stop there. LifeLock offers comprehensive identity theft protection that goes the extra mile. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious use of your info, but also takes action to resolve identity theft issues, guaranteed, or your money back. Start your 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Getting ready for more rain and longer nights? We've got you. Right now, you can earn up to $25 in bonus rewards when you buy 2 Sylvania Silver Star Ultra bulbs and 2 Rain-X Quantum Elite wiper blades. More rewards and better visibility at America's #1 lighting destination, AutoZone.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Offer valid for AutoZone Rewards members. Restrictions apply.
How big of a Jackets fan are you? Like, scary big? Prove it. Show us you were the biggest CBJ fan and you could win tickets to the Stadium Series at the Horseshoe. Head to 971thefan.com now through November 3rd at 11:59 p.m. to enter. Do it.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, where every 65. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio.
Hey, it's Anthony. If you want to make the best deal in town on a new Honda, make sure you visit my friends at Germain Honda of Dublin. They're on Sawmill Road, just south of 270. And Rich tells me you're going to get 1.90% APR up to 60 months on most new 24s and 25 Hondas. They'll give you the details. Of course, you'll get same-day service, no appointment needed. And how about an extra $1,000 for your trade if you have a 2014 or newer vehicle? All with the great people at Germain Honda of Dublin.
APCO, windows, siding, and decks. Business First says we're the largest remodeler in town. Our philosophy is simple. We don't rely on sales gimmicks to get our customers. We rely on our reputation.
Absolutely, absolutely. You can trust APCO.
APCO.com.
Post Malone is teaming up with Raising Cane's to empower the next generation of artists. For a limited time, 2 exclusive double-sided Post Malone posters are available at Raising Cane's. So post up your combo at Cane's while supplies last and support a good cause. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
Hey, fans! Welcome back to Fansville's Cheers and Tears. Oh. Okay, so like everybody deals with losing, right? To a rival on a last-second field goal. Whatever, it's fine. I'm totally fine. But I cope with losing with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Those 23 flavors are like so delicious. They totally wash away the pain of your college football team taking a big fat L. College football, it's a pepper thing.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Their live golf team name is Ice Dogs. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right. Big one at the Beeve coming up high noon on Saturday. Our guy, Bobby Carpenter, will be watching this very closely like we all are. Intensity is going to be high. All right, my man, good to have you back. Let's break it down a little bit. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I mean, you talked about the big noon at the Beeve. I mean, right. Rothman, you're a guy who has been in Columbus since '94. You went over there, and during the Black Sox scandal at the Beeve. I mean, that was a day game, and you always said the Beeve it's a little hairier after dark. Like that's when the real fangs come out, especially. Because this game, it seems, has always kind of been on this Halloween weekend, so you never know who's going to come out at the freak-off at the Beeve.
Yeah, well, here's maybe the difference. I think Penn State was number 1 in the country that year that you talked about, 94. Or am I wrong? No. Am I wrong? What was Ohio? I'd have to go back and look. That was the 63-14.
Whatever that was.
Yeah.
Fickle said we're never allowed to wear black socks again because of that game.
All right. How do you feel about this one? Because I said to Maddie the other day, over the recent history, these are the games Ohio State wins. The ones where...
Well, it's against James Franklin. So
that's
it's more
correct.
the fact that James Franklin is 1-9. Like, I think that these are the games. You mean the ones against James?
Yes.
Yeah, those are the ones.
Those are the ones.
I love that they pulled up. I was watching on ESPN as we're doing the show this morning on sports. They're like, these great, crazy finishes. I'm like, they're going back for a finish. They've got obviously the 2016 game. And then they had to pull one from I don't know when, back when I was playing almost, to get the other dramatic finish so they could have 2 for each. I'm like, Ohio State is one. It's a shame because I'm so upset that this game isn't going to be played next year. Because if you go look over the last 30 years, Ohio State's controlled this, especially over the last 15. But every game, the games have always been great. It's not like they're blowouts. Usually the games are coming down to a final play. Benjamin Victor, the binge eater, running on catches a under route and runs 40 yards unmolested to the end zone. Crazy stuff happens over there. So I'm curious, before I start going into this, what has been your feel for this Ohio State team over the last 3 to 4 days, and has it evolved at all?
For me, Bobby, the thing that I can't get out of my mind is what's happening up front on the offense, right? And just the offensive line situation now moving forward in this game. And we'll see what Indiana brings to the table. But as you know, that Michigan game, they got dudes down in the trenches. And if they don't get that corrected, then this could get pretty dicey, right? With just Abdul Carter on deck this week and some other guys coming their way.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the strength of this Penn State team is their defensive line. That's historically this is a classic Penn State team. Occasionally they've got, an Allen at wide receiver. They've got a Barkley at running back, someone who's, really elite. But a lot of times, these Penn State teams, they've got good running backs, really good tight end. Tyler Warren's really good. Pretty good offensive line. Quarterback can be the wild card. Defensive line, great. Linebackers, tough. And their corners usually pretty physical, and that can kind of be another piece that can go either way. But this is kind of that classic team as I've looked at this. And, the toughness element up front, I was sitting up there with Paul and Jim. I watched them get stuffed twice in the fourth quarter, against a Nebraska team that I'll give people that, they're good up front. They're a top 25 team. The Indiana game was a little bit of an anomaly. That is more the exception to the rule than the rule with Nebraska. But this Ohio State team, I think coming out of this, I don't want to say they didn't look uninspired. That's not the word I want to use. It's a conversation that I've been having with Schlegs on my YouTube show for the last 3 days of trying to diagnose exactly what it is. And I'm almost glad that this game is on the road because there was a lot of uneasy, nervous energy in Ohio State. And at the end of the day, for these guys, at some point, football, and I know, we go to Coach Boone, is football fun? Football, it should be fun. You're playing at Ohio State. You work hard. You grind. The games are the fun part. That's you get to go out there and showcase what you can do. And there's all these people, the social media. I've got Rothman hundreds and hundreds of mentions in there about all these different things that they've been looking at, and with guys, praying before Carmen, Ohio, and how that's the problem, or people aren't yelling at each other enough on the sideline, and that's the problem. We need Schlegs down there to start a fire on them. Schlegs wasn't a yeller. Fick was not a yeller. Game days are about the players. It's about positivity. We'll yell at you during practice and in film. And so I've kind of gone through this evolution where at first I was more worried, but nationally, Ohio State didn't drop in the rankings. They're a 3.5-point favorite at one of the most hostile places you can play. I think there's a belief where, hey, everyone wants to run the ball. And I'm a huge believer in that. But this team, you know what? The offensive line's been beat up. You lost a potentially first, second-round tackle, okay? Shabola's had some injuries. You're kicking. You're probably going to kick out Donovan Jackson now. I mean, do you play Luke Montgomery? Do you go to Carson Hinsman, Austin Servell? There's some answers here. But maybe it's as much a pass-run 50-50 And when you have 44 plays, it's tough to get into it. But, like, Will Howard's been really good. And, like, get it to Mac, get it to JJ. Cardinal Tate shows you he can have, 100 yards. Like, there's options there. And I hope, like, just let it loose. Like, that's what I want for these guys because they're a good team, man. They are really good. And it feels almost like the pursuit of perfection has got in the way of, like, them actually having success.
Yeah, I think it's really well put because no one could hang with them, for their first 5 games until they got to Oregon, and we know what happened there. But, yeah, I think what happened here was that we expected Ohio State to just put their cleat on somebody's throat again with 2 weeks to prepare for it. That didn't happen. So now there's some concern. And then you add the injury to the offensive line. We just saw the impact of this weekend. I want to flip it back to Franklin real fast because,
flip it.
Let me flip it back to him. They did hire Andy Kotelnicki away from Kansas. And they abandoned the run completely against Ohio State last year with the same 2 backs they'll have in this game. However, I saw them run a double pass against USC, and he's kind of pulled out a few things, talking about let it whip a little bit. Are you giving Franklin a little advantage now that he has this offensive coordinator?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Like, you and Kotelnicki have some things in common. I mean, you both abandoned Kansas.
That's right.
But what you don't have in common, he pulls out a lot more.
Did he go there with his high school girlfriend, too?
That's what I heard. I said the co-eds were amazing. But he pulls it out a lot more than you do, Rothman. You saw that bag of tricks. And, like, you watch Kansas now struggling without him and what that looks like. And as I'm sitting there watching, we're going through it, and you're talking to some of the linebackers and safeties. They put those guys in conflict. Like, you've got to keep it simple and be aggressive. And that'll allow guys to play fast and play with confidence because they motion around. They bring Tyler Warren in and, like, trickery. Like, he's quarterback. He's, like, doing, like, Travis Kelce stuff with him. And he played quarterback in high school. He can do a lot of stuff. And so he's kind of that focal point. Their receivers aren't really that great. I know they had some big plays against West Virginia, but that really hadn't been it. The problem is, like, do you have to, prepare for Aller, or is it Perbula, who, like, you've got both those guys, and they're kind of different. Like, Aller and trying to run.
Who would you rather face if you were the linebacker in this game?
I honestly rather face Aller, to tell you the truth. Like, I am averse at running quarterbacks. Now, Perbula threw it pretty well against Wisconsin. And honestly, like, if it wasn't, here's the other thing, too. If it wasn't for the pick 6, I honestly think Wisconsin wins that game. So it wasn't like they cruised in there and beat them up in Madison. They're coming off a 40-point victory, like, cruising into this game. Like, they've got their own bag of issues too, Doc. Like, let's sit down on the couch and get out the notebook there. Because James Franklin, he's got his own demons that he's trying to raise. He brought in Kotelnicki, and he's at his best when he has good coordinators. And I think he has good coordinators here, but maybe he doesn't have the Barkley. He doesn't have he doesn't have the elite wideout that can go get you either. So they rely a lot on Tyler Warren. So you've got to know where he is. You've got to stop and understand their run game. And if you can bottle them up, like, they're not really that explosive. Like, Lincoln Riley and USC should have beat them. I give Franklin credit for staying the course, but if you force them to beat you, I don't think they can do that. I really don't. And especially with this Ohio State team, that they have more firepower. And they're going to have the best player on the field, Jeremiah Smith. So, like, get him involved, get him the ball.
Real quick, Bob, we got like a minute left. Should we be?
I know the clock's man.
Should we be expecting? I don't know why I've said that. Should we be expecting heavier personnel from Ohio State offensively, maybe because of the offensive line struggles, like 12 more tight ends on the field to help?
And so that's something. But the problem is with that, like, unless you can glue Kaczmarek's shoulder back together, like, I think he'll be back. I don't think he'll be back for this week.
Okay.
But I think that they probably do. You get some 12. That way you can help out on the tackle. You can hang the back. You can do some things. Because you're correct in your assessment. Like, just leaving those guys out there on the edges probably isn't the best thing to do. And so you have some tight end depth, thankfully, but you would like to probably have Kaczmarek because this would be a nice game for him.
All right. Bobby Carpenter, learn it, know it, live it. He does every week with us here on a Wednesday. All right, thanks, my man. Enjoy the week of hype.
Hey, you enjoy Kotelnicki, you and the Kansas lover.
Absolutely. Rock Chalk Jayhawk. I think my name is still etched into some cement there in Lawrence by the high school girlfriend. What's that?
A couple bathroom stalls.
That's true. That's right, exactly. Those don't last as much, though. Got to have it in the cement. All right, we'll get you back to your afternoon. The one and only Bobby Carpenter. All right, when we come back, little Buckeye Bulletin, and we'll continue with Ohio State football talk. Jim Knowles, what they need to do against this Penn State offense. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
The Big Nine was a sad, incomplete place. Enter Ohio State. The rest is history. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan.
A vote for Sherrod Brown is a vote against Donald Trump. Sherrod Brown has spent 31 years in Washington, D.C., backing radical liberal policies.
Late-term partial birth abortion, where the baby is partially delivered alive. Trans biological men in girls' sports and bathrooms. Puberty blockers and even sex change surgery for children. Amnesty for 11 million illegal immigrants.
Brown's liberal policies are the opposite of the Trump agenda, and Brown would oppose Trump at every turn. To undo the damage of the last 4 years, President Trump and Ohio need Republican Bernie Moreno in the Senate. 6 more years of Sherrod Brown? He's for they, them, not you. Sherrod Brown has let us down. He's way too liberal for Ohio.
Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
If you're struggling with ED or your performance is down and your belly fat is growing, listen up. You've got one life. Now is the time to act.
At the Columbus Men's Clinic, we're not just healthcare, we're your secret weapon. Don't wait another day. Here's why you need to act right now.
Every moment you delay, your condition could worsen. It's not just about sex, it's about your heart, your relationship, your life.
The Columbus Men's Clinic has over 10 years of proven results for low testosterone and increasing drive, energy level, and performance. We've introduced ED and enhancement treatments so exclusive, you'll wonder why you waited.
Procrastination is the thief of time. When it comes to your sexual health, you can't afford to wait. Join the League of Gentlemen who've walked out of our doors with a swagger.
Call the Columbus Men's Clinic at 614-300-7400 or visit columbusmensclinic.com. Book your $99 male performance consultation now, including blood work. Call 614-300-7400 or visit columbusmensclinic.com. The Columbus Men's Clinic, making it happen.
Join our resident gambling degenerates Dave Biddle and Scotty Vegas for On the Money, Wednesday night at 8.
Presented by ESPN Bet at Hollywood Casino Columbus.
All the action, none of the responsibility. The Fan.
Get your ex to the lodge for the freshest menu additions. Spice up your wing order with new sauces featuring the chicken tikka or spicy chili crisp. Or try our famous flatbreads with the backyard barbecue brisket or chicken tikka. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Hey, it's Common Man and T-Bone. We've got an appearance coming up at our favorite place to do all our banging, Hollywood Casino Columbus.
We're going to be live Friday, November 1st at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook inside the casino for the top 5 matchup in Happy Valley.
Plus, you can win tickets to the big college football game in Columbus featuring our friends from the Hoosier State on November 23rd. We're giving those away this Friday.
The key is Friday. Come or you're dead to us. Must be 21 years or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted it close to town with a picture window overlooking a yard. And you found it. Now when you sit down to dinner, you've got front row seats too. Your neighbor's daily pickleball game. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states.
At the Home Depot, we know Saturdays are for college football. That's why we have everything you need to never miss a play. Like Bear Dynasty interior paint, their most durable one-coat hide paint ever. From a team color statement wall to a fan cave, complete with a mural honoring Nick Saban's 17-year dynasty.
Hey, I like that idea.
Nothing beats Bear Dynasty interior paint. It's everything you need all in one can.
Defend your game time with Bear and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Valid only when tended to colors from the Bear Dynasty and Marquee Interior One-Coat Hide Color Collection.
Want to know anything about the Fan's contests, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present Buckeye Buckeye Bulletin.
Sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services. Don't go through another furnace breakdown. For fast, friendly service, call the experts at Logan Services now for a free estimate and next day furnace installation.
All right, the week of hype continues. And I keep coming back to, if you're going to help that offensive line out this week, then Will Howard's going to have to be a big part of that. Probably the part of that. And we heard about all his running ability. We've seen it. I think there'll be more here. This is a go-get-it game. This is a just-win-the-game kind of deal. Not going to come back from Happy Valley, probably dissecting it to the point where if it's a close victory that you'll look at it from a negative point of view. This is a top-5 game on the road, and we know what they face. And here's Chip Kelly first on trying to stay ahead of the chains.
Your mind is just how can we be successful, and then success is generating first downs. And the way you generate first downs is to put yourself in convertible third down situations, or actually convert on first and second down and not even be in third down. So it's really, what's our efficiency like on first and second down so we can put ourselves in a workable third down situation.
All right, so the follow-up to that, if you were talking to him, is, okay, then how do you call those plays? Because if you want to stay ahead of the game, because right now they can't just run into a brick wall. Like, yes, we all know it would be great to get some yards on first and second down and get into convertible third downs. But now the strategy, and listen, you ask him that, he's not going to give it away. But you do kind of wonder, Matty, like, will he call a different game to try to help that O-line out this week?
I think the game plan is probably fluctuating throughout the week just based off of the personnel they may or may not have, right? With just the availability of Zen and maybe some other guys up front that can help you. But third and short will be their best friend this week, because whether you had a healthy O-line or not, you just don't want the defensive line led by Abdul Carter to be able to tee off on your tackles or your interior guys or whatever the case is going to be. Because if they know, hey, it's 3rd and 6 or 3rd and 5 plus, and we just got to get downhill, that's a tough situation for any O-line to be in, especially now for Ohio State that's got some injuries up front. So just the efficiency of what they can do on first and second down is going to be so critical. And like you said, maybe this is the week to where they ask more of Will with his legs to help out in that category on those early downs.
Here is Chip on his offensive line currently.
I'm very confident. I watch those guys every day, and I think there's a really good group of guys. We lost one in a really good one in Josh, but there's a bunch of other guys there that I think are really, really good football players. So I think we're really confident and excited about this challenge that Penn State presents for us.
Feels like a little bit of a public confidence type of a statement.
You can't say anything other than that. Whether he truly believes that or not, as a coach publicly, you can't say anything but that.
They're not moving people.
Yeah.
So you can't have this dripping with confidence deal. But you also don't want them to believe that they can't do it.
Yeah. No, and this is now 2 games in a row for Ohio State to where the push up front hasn't been good enough. Right? You go back to the Oregon game and Travion rips off a 50-yard plus run in that game, and it makes the yards per carry look a lot better. But if you take that out, which we can't, but for the sake of this conversation we will, if you take out that 50-yard run from Travion, the efficiency on the ground wasn't good in Eugene. And then we just saw what happened against Nebraska. So they have to find a way, whether that's adding more bodies down there. We just talked to Bobby about it. Maybe you get a couple tight ends that can help you out there. Whatever they got to do, because if we get into, mid-second quarter, early third quarter of this game, and we're seeing that Ohio State cannot move bodies up front, it's going to get dicey could get dicey for them over there in Happy Valley.
I think the game within the game that I was kind of trying to throw at Bobby is the Jim Knowles versus Andy Kotelnicki kind of thing now.
Yeah.
Because Penn State isn't as vanilla as they used to be.
Right.
Bringing up that example I did of the double pass against USC. But Knowles has been pretty good, very good at identifying the formation and matching that call and finding a way to get it into his guys. That will be a very interesting in-game battle between Knowles and Kotelnicki. And here's Jim Knowles on the Penn State offense, how much different it is this year.
It's a lot different. There are multiple formations and shifts, all the time. So all of that window dressing to create stress on the defense, that's really a lot different. And then you add in the quarterback run game, that's a lot different.
The quarterback run game. And let's double up with what they need to do to contain a running QB.
When we do decide to bring pressure, we need to be on our assignments and our gaps. I think anytime you bring pressure, there's a chance to create creases. And then, just keep working on our rush lanes. It's not easily done. When you want guys to throw moves and get pressure, there's going to be some seams. So it's just a constant process of working on it.
This isn't Oregon. He knows it. This is a trenches game. This is an execution game. That's what it is. It always has been, it feels like. Now, I'm not saying that Penn State years ago, and Bobby wrote 94, my first year, when, you've got guys slinging it around and all that. Mm-hmm. They had quarterbacks too. But this game does always remind me of very hard-hitting, typical football. Big brands, big rock-solid programs, and that Penn State feels they may have enough wrinkles to now not fight fire with Ohio State's offense, but to hang in a game.
They might think over there that they have firepower with the way that what you brought up this year with their creativity, that they can actually do it. Now, that's just words, and they got to show some action. But we've seen Tyler Warren snap a ball and go catch a touchdown. So they have a lot of things that they're going to throw at Ohio State. But I think Coach Knowles brought up what's very important this week, and especially if it's not Drew Aller and it's Pribula, it's just the responsibility of your D-line to not allow him to run into, an open lane that isn't going to be there because somebody jumped in the wrong gap. And we saw some of that come back to bite them in the game against Oregon with that big-time rushing touchdown that Dylan Gabriel had in the game. And so if it is Pribula, those guys got to be responsible and not letting that guy get some free ones going elsewhere.
All right, that is today's Buckeye Bulletin. Sports Center update here, top of the hour. We continue with one of the original Silver Bullets, Matt Finkes. The sack master will jump on next and talk about these Buckeyes, his confidence in them moving forward, and the atmosphere at the Shoe this season. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
If you consider yourself a Buckeye fan, you've come to the right place. This is your heritage sports talker and home of Ohio State Athletics, The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Hey, what's up? It's Bone. Guys, listen up. How many of you out there have been diagnosed with sleep apnea? Maybe your partner can't tolerate your snoring every night, and you can't stand your CPAP machine. The good news is there are alternatives to the CPAP machine, and Dr. Mark Levy is here to change your sleep and your life. Trust me, your significant other will thank you later. Dr. Mark Levy can customize an oral appliance that opens your airways, helps you breathe better, and stops your snoring. It's quick and comfortable and an alternative to those bulky, loud CPAP machines you always hear about. For over 15 years, Dr. Mark Levy has led the way when it comes to treating snoring and sleep apnea, and now he's expanding his practice to better serve his patients with a brand new location in Marysville. Yeah, Marysville. If you're snoring and waking up all of Marysville or wherever you live and not sleeping, call Dr. Mark Levy's office today. And as the end of the year approaches, a lot of people have exceeded medical deductibles, which means less out of pocket for you. Don't delay. Schedule your appointment today with Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. You can also check him out online, sleepbettercolumbus.com, and now sleepbettermarysville.com.
Get Eco.
Hey, Aaron. Hey, Jerry. Remember that day I invented the everything bagel? That was a heck of a day, Jerry. I was right there in line.
Get Eco.
I saw the onion bagel and the poppy seed bagel and the sesame bagel, and I thought, imagine if one bagel could give you everything you need. You changed the world that day, Jerry.
Get Eco.
I think Eco is just like that for homeowners in Ohio. Plumbers, electricians, HVAC technicians. One company, one call, everything you need.
Get Eco.
Eco is a complete ecosystem of home services all under one roof. Ooh, that is a good one. Big things, small things, projects that require a little of this and that. Eco has the whole ecosystem equally covered.
Get Eco.
What if one day someone comes up with a new thing you can put on a bagel? Well, I've already patented everything, Aaron. Nobody can claim everything plus one. You're a wise man, Jerry. I'm making a fortune, Aaron.
Get Eco.
Eco plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians. GetEco.com.
As Cybersecurity Awareness Month winds down, LifeLock reminds you to update your software regularly. These updates fix security flaws that could be exploited by identity thieves. But don't stop there. LifeLock offers comprehensive identity theft protection that goes the extra mile. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious use of your info, but also takes action to resolve identity theft issues, guaranteed, or your money back. Start your 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Getting ready for more rain and longer nights? We've got you. Right now, you can earn up to $25 in bonus rewards when you buy 2 Sylvania Silver Star Ultra bulbs and 2 Rain-X Quantum Elite wiper blades. More rewards and better visibility at America's #1 lighting destination, AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Offer valid for AutoZone Rewards members. Restrictions apply.
Rita, Jorge, let's bring the nail gun over here.
Jose stands tall atop his sustainable flooring company.
Totally. It's renewable and moisture resistant, but we have several green options too. Or we got some beautiful reclaimed oak.
But floored by his success, he needs to hire more installers.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double hot, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Hey, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Well, I do now.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
Did you say you're cutting me off?
You earn, we match. Unlimited cashback match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Eric Reeser. LeBron James is returning to Cleveland, for one night anyway. His 3-1 Lakers are taking on the 4-0 Cavaliers. Tip-off there is 7 o'clock. Same time in Old Columbus town, the Blue Jackets will play host to the Islanders. You can hear that one on the Fan with pregame coverage at 6:30. Elvis Merzlikins will start in net for the second game in a row. CBJ will host the Jets on Friday before playing in Washington versus the Capitals on Saturday. Jackets defenseman Damon Severson will join the Rothman and Ice program today around 2:30 for Hockey and Hounds. In college football, number 4 Ohio State's a 3.5-point road favorite at number 3 Penn State Saturday at noon. Hear more from OSU's head coach tomorrow at noon on the Ryan Day Show. And the Yankees host the Dodgers in Game 5 of the World Series tonight at 8 o'clock. New York needs a win tonight to send the series to L.A. for Game 6 on Friday. This update is sponsored by Valley Ford of Columbus, Bronco, Explorer, Mustang Mach-E, and more. Ride into autumn with Valley Ford of Columbus.
Most shows just skim the surface, but Rothman and I feel like the biggest story of the day deserves a closer look. It's time for a deeper dive.
Sponsored by Maxima Concrete. Visit MaximaConcrete.com today to schedule your free estimate.
All right, welcome back. Final hour of the program. We'll do Hockey and Hounds bottom of the hour, as Reeser said, with Damon Severson. Jackets back on home ice tonight, trying to double up on their win from the other night against Edmonton. That would be special. They have not won 2 in a row this year, but they're off to a very good start. 4-3-1 on the season through 8. They'll play the Islanders tonight at 7 o'clock. They'll drop puck at Nationwide Arena. We continue. We'll talk Ohio State Buckeyes with an original Silver Bulletin Moments, Matt Finkes, who kind of raised some eyebrows this weekend, experiencing the shoe in combination with Ohio State trailing to Nebraska in the fourth quarter, Matty. That is the perfect storm, right? It's not only, sometimes the atmosphere, even in a blowout in Ohio State's favor, may not be great, just because it's too easy.
Yeah.
But when the team is having trouble themselves and an upset is brewing, what it does is it puts more things under the microscope, including, hey, 100,000, we need you. Where are you? Hey, Mellon, we need you. Like that kind of deal.
Yeah, man, absolutely. So it's been a thing, for years that has been talked about, and the game day experience is awesome. I've always said, I think High Street and all of that area right around the stadium is just one of the best things our city has to offer on a Saturday. It's just a beautiful scene to be a part of. But once you walk into that stadium, sometimes you can walk out of there and say, you know what? The atmosphere was it was okay. It was okay. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see if that changes now that you've got former players talking about it and some others around the media talking about it right now.
All right. He played in the glory days, I like to say, of hard copy media guides. And certainly he is the pride of Piqua and an original Silver Bullet. My man, Matt Finkes, joins us now on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems Fangast Hotline. All right, big guy, it's good to have you back. How you feeling?
I'm doing good, man. How you guys been? It's been a minute.
Good.
Yeah, it has. Been too long. So, listen, you were at the game, right, this weekend, and let's talk about what we've been talking about. I've said it all. I've always said it this way. Sometimes when you're this good, you wait for the players and the team to light the fire under the crowd, then the opposite. But you've sensed this. Has this been something that's been evolving over time? Was this something you sensed in your era or just something recently?
No, I mean, I think this is something recent. I mean, I don't think that this was really a big thing back in my era. I mean, I think back in the 90s, I mean, the fans were into it. They were loud. They were kind of going crazy. I mean, and, you've noticed it. I mean, and I get, like, some days you're playing Akron and some days you're playing Western Kentucky or whatever it is. I mean, and are the fans going to be at your throat and ready to go for that? I mean, probably not. And I think the players understand that. But I think when you're playing a Big Ten opponent, I mean, you should be ready to go. And when the game isn't going your way, maybe the fans should get into it a little bit more. I mean, you can be a little bit disappointed the way your team's playing, but you're in a tight football game. Let's get it going a little bit. And, it's funny, I spent the last couple of weeks, I was out in Washington at the Washington-Michigan game. I was out in Oregon for that game. I'm telling you, man, their game day atmospheres are crazy, and it's good. And I think that's a little bit, not on the fans, but a little bit on the university. I mean, they need to up their game too. I mean, I'm all for tradition. I'm a tradition guy. Anthony, as you know, I'm big on the uniform tradition. Mm-hmm. But I mean, there's certain things that need to change and keep up with the times in the game. And I think in-game atmosphere, in-game, mood and feel and getting the crowd fired up is something that's got to change for Ohio State.
Matt, one thing I couldn't wait to ask you about is the trench play from the D-line. I mean, obviously what it takes to get after quarterbacks and play at a high level on the defensive side of things. But a narrative around the program the last couple of seasons is the defensive line not being able to get to the quarterback and get those guys down to the ground consistently. And look, we know the Bosas and, the Chase Youngs and those names are one-of-one type of guys. But what's been your assessment of the defensive line play over the last couple of seasons and their, let's say, lack of ability to get to the quarterbacks consistently?
Yeah, I mean, I think that what you mentioned there is true. Joey Bosa, Nick Bosa, Chase Young, I mean, those guys, you didn't have to do a lot with them. You put them out there and they're going to beat up some dudes. But those guys aren't, that's not the standard. I mean, we've got good players, but, the offense has the advantage when you're talking about pass set. And if you line up with 4 down linemen against their 5 and you straight pass rush every time, offense is going to win 70 or 80% of the time. It's just the reality and the physics of the game. So I liked what I saw Saturday, with some, linebackers walking up, getting a little more pressure, bringing guys every now and then, because that makes the offensive line have to think. That tackle and that guard, they have to now think of who's coming and where do I need to shift to, and am I sliding protection over here, and do I need to help with this backer coming on the outside, and is the guard going to have to come out, or is there going to be a twist here? Do I need to be ready for that instead of just sitting in your regular pass set? So I think that what they've seen now and what they've adjusted to in that way, if they continue along the Nebraska lines, is going to be good. I mean, I think that I say this all the time. You got to play with the guys that are on the field, not with the scheme that you've got on the whiteboard. And the guys that are on the field, you can't line them up 4 across and just straight pass rush every time, or you're not going to win those football games, or those big games when it's going to matter. So you've got to switch it up defensively. I think Jim and Larry did a good job of changing that up, and more Jim probably with the scheme and bringing some pressure and disguising some looks and making the offensive line a little bit more shaky in their calls and their protection, and that led to some easier wins for those guys on the outside and even inside.
Matt, do you think that they should run more of twists and stunts up front?
Yeah, I mean, anything as a defensive lineman, when it's a passing down, anything that you can do to give me an advantage over that offensive lineman and to make him question where he needs to set is going to help me. Because then you take it from the position of, if it's a straight pass rush and they see that we straight pass rush and, the ends are going to rush on the outside, 3 technique might have a 2-way go, and the 1 technique is going to rush on the center and get help from the guard. If I'm an offensive lineman and I know that coming in that's going to be 70% of your pass rush, I know where I'm going to set. I know how I'm going to set. I know where I need to attack. I know where I need to be to protect my quarterback. If you start twisting and you start walking linebackers up and you start bringing backers and safeties, that puts doubt in that guy's mind. And it's that half second that he's thinking and trying to read and trying to look and trying to see if that three technique, if I'm the offensive tackle, is going to come out and get into my shoulder and it's a twist. I need to short set a little bit instead of kicking out to try to make sure I can get that defensive end who's speed rushing me on the edge or not. I mean, that's the indecision that goes into a tackle and a guard's mind in that short period of time. When you do more of that stuff, that's going to give the advantage back to the defensive players.
He's on the all-time sack list for Ohio State. He's Matt Finkes, my man from the 90s, the original Silver Bullet. We're talking Buckeyes here with him on Rothman and Ice. Big game for both coaches, right? They both are on the wrong side of that resume where it's top 5 team and they don't have a winning record. And I'm going to give you a lot of praise because I remember when Franklin was hired at Penn State, you were very much in the camp of you were skeptical about it. Like that this guy may not be able to, and you've been pretty much dead on right in his inability to win big games. But he went out and hired a new OC this year from Kansas. They've gotten a little more creative. Is this a typical Ohio State-Penn State game that you see coming on Saturday?
I think it is pretty much. I think that, they're going to be a little bit more exotic offensively than they have been in years past. And depending on whether Aller can go, you're going to get to see, where their game plan is going to set. They're going to be solid defensively. I mean, their defensive line is legit. We've got to get our offensive line situation figured out this week. And we've got to get the best guys out there in a good combination and maybe even just dumb down the playbook a little bit, get those outside runs going. Run Will Howard a little bit more. I know that Chip kind of alluded to them saving him because of injury. Man, you can't play scared. Not if you're going to win these games, and you can't play in fear of hurting a guy. So, I mean, that opens up. I mean, just think back to Zeke and J.T. Barrett and the inside run Zeke had. I mean, and we've got 2 running backs that are elite guys. But the reason that Zeke was able to hit between the tackles so much is because people had to account for J.T. Barrett on the RPO getting to the edge. And right now it's a straight give with Will Howard. We've got to get him on the outside a little bit more and being able to create offensively. But I think this offensive team is a little bit too much for what Penn State's going to bring defensively. I think it's good that it's not a night game because I'll tell you what, if you've ever been over there for a night game, I mean, that atmosphere is electric. So, I mean, I think it's Ohio State's advantage that this is at a new game. I think the defense is playing really well. I was really encouraged by finally getting some stops in the fourth quarter in a game that mattered. I mean, you may not want to call it a big game, but when your season's on the line and you're down 4 points and now you're just up 3 or up 4 and you need a stop, it's always a big game at that point. So seeing the defense, who hasn't been able to get a stop in the fourth quarter in a big-time game, be able to do that and get a turnover last week, I think that does nothing but build confidence for them. And I think this is just a matchup that looks pretty good for Ohio State athletic-wise because just too much talent on the offensive side of the ball. I think that the Buckeyes come out of this one on top and pretty safely.
Matt, real quick, I just wanted to pick your brain. Former players, I love asking them about the new era of football that we're in with the NIL stuff. There's a report coming out of Michigan that Michigan may be ready to hand a high school kid maybe north of $5 million to decommit to LSU and come to Ann Arbor. When you look at the landscape of college football right now, especially the NIL stuff, what are your thoughts?
It is absolutely insane. It is insane what's happening. It's insane what's going on. The intent of NIL has been completely bastardized, and it's pay for play. Let's not kid ourselves. There's nothing NIL about what's happening in college football right now. And, I'm hoping that it's going to change and get regulated. I mean, that's all the people that I'm talking to, and the indications are that it is heading in that direction. But the reality is right now it is the wild, wild west, and there are no rules. And the rules that they tried to put in place have been flaunted, and they've been sued, and they, and the Tennessees of the world have won. So it's disheartening because, I mean, this wasn't done the right way. I'm a full believer that these kids should be compensated in some way for what's going on with the money that's out there and the TV contracts and the merchandise sales and being able to shoot a TV commercial for a car company. But let's be honest, that's not what's happening. These kids are getting millions of dollars for playing football, not for being, marketing arms. I mean, it goes back to Travis Hunter, getting $1 million from a coffee company with one location in Jackson, Mississippi. I have 2 coffee companies. I'm not giving anybody $1 million in my marketing budget. I mean, it's insane what's going on. So You just got to hope that they start to get things right and start to do things the right way and try to put the genie back in the bottle a little bit. And I think that they just, they're going to have to do that. And I think they're working towards that, and hopefully it's going to work out.
He is the former two-time first-team All-Big Tenner in Scarlet and Gray, Matt Finkes. Enjoy it, my friend. We'll do this again soon, I promise. Thanks for making time for us.
Sounds good. Yep, man. Good talk to you guys. Have a great one.
You got it. Matt Finkes with us on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. That dude knows ball for sure.
No doubt about it, man. That was good stuff from him. Let's give away a pair of tickets right now to see AEW Collision live at Nationwide Arena Saturday, December 7th. Tickets are on sale now via Ticketmaster. 614-821-9710 is CB's hotline number. Earlier, we talked about AR playing quarterback at Radio Row last year when we were in Vegas. Who was he tossing the rock to at Radio Row? You get that right. CB's got a pair of tickets to AEW Collision live at Nationwide Arena, Saturday, December 7th.
So I didn't bring up 94 to Matt. I didn't bring that up to him.
No.
Why would I do that?
You don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You don't want to do
Good
that.
dude.
Keep the vibes high.
Yeah. All right, we come back with that answer and also Coach of the Year. Is it a no-brainer? Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
An ex-jock and a very puffy, smooth-faced man. These are the first voices you should hear. Morning Juice. Your wake-up service.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
The Fan.
Open a Platinum Rewards Visa at Kemba Financial Credit Union and secure super low everyday rates so you can pay down debt faster. Apply now at Kemba.org to unlock 2% cash back on purchases for a limited time and pay 0% interest for a full year on balance transfers plus exclusive perks. Restrictions apply. Offer ends October 31st, 2024.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. Terms and conditions apply.
Common Man here for Jermaine Lexus of Dublin and Easton. If your fall is anything like the people in my neighborhood, your weekends are full of driving kids to endless soccer things. So if you're going to be on the road, be as comfortable as possible. 4 out of 5 doctors recommend a new Lexus. That's not true, but I recommend it. Deal time, 2.99% finance rate on a 2024 RX. That's madness. 4.49% finance rate for a 2025 NX. And you can get up to $5,000 lease cash for a 2024 RX. Check them out online, JermaineLexus.com.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. GI Bill, SkillBridge, and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
This is Corey Sickles with Safe Harbor Wealth Advisors. Get a complimentary second opinion to see if your portfolio is properly designed to achieve your goals before it's too late. Visit safeharboroh.com to schedule a complimentary meeting. safeharboroh.com.
Football season is here, and we have so much stuff. One station isn't enough. Find even more pigskin on ESPN Columbus.
Set your second preset to AM 1460 or 97.1 FM HD2 or listen on the Fan app.
Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan.
Gambling too much or just can't seem to cut your losses? I'm Abdullah Mahmood, pub and gambling counselor at Maryhaven. Whether it's you or someone you love, we're here to help you control gambling before it controls you. With in-person, virtual, and group options, Maryhaven is here for you no matter what. And that's a bet you can actually count on this football season. Confidential and judgment-free, go to maryhaven.com today. That's maryhaven.com.
Looking for a trusted heating and cooling company? James Laurinaitis here for Custom Air. When I come home from a football game, I know that I'm walking into comfort. That's because Custom Air is on my team. When Custom Air does my semi-annual maintenance checkup, I trust them to spot any issues early on, so it'll save me money down the road. Don't let your HVAC call for a timeout this season. Tackle fall and winter like a pro. Go to customairco.com and schedule your maintenance today. Custom solutions, custom comfort. Custom Air.
A vote for Sherrod Brown is a vote against Donald Trump. Sherrod Brown has spent 31 years in Washington, D.C., backing radical liberal policies.
Late-term partial birth abortion, where the baby is partially delivered alive. Trans biological men in girls' sports and bathrooms. Puberty blockers and even sex change surgery for children. Amnesty for 11 million illegal immigrants.
Brown's liberal policies are the opposite of the Trump agenda, and Brown would oppose Trump at every turn. To undo the damage of the last 4 years, President Trump and Ohio need Republican Bernie Moreno in the Senate. 6 more years of Sherrod Brown? He's for they, them, not you. Sherrod Brown has let us down. He's way too liberal for Ohio.
Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Looking at partly cloudy skies today, temperatures approaching that 80-degree mark. Not as warm tomorrow, but still pretty mild. 78 on your Halloween. We are tracking a cold front that will bring showers and thunderstorms between 2 p.m. and 9 p.m. on Halloween. It cools off on Friday with highs only around 60. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 weather impact forecasts on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365 is the exclusive online sportsbook of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Rothman and Ice present Pre-Snap Reads.
Sponsored by the Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
All right, Maddie, a little Bet365 time.
Oh, yeah, you already know, because at Bet365, we don't do ordinary. Folks, see for yourself when you sign up today and get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5.
All right, you can't keep me away.
Freddie?
Can't keep a good man down. I'm going back in on Nerfy.
Okay.
No runs first inning with Flaherty and Cole. It's 2-2 so far in the World Series. This is the one that's going to make you a winner or a loser. And also, I'm probably going to dip my toe in the water of the Jackets tonight. The Islanders have lost each of their last 8 roadies on the second leg of a back-to-back. And you know I've been on this since the beginning. The Jackets have won 4 of their last 5 as home dogs against the East.
Yeah.
And they've covered the puck line in 8 of their last 9 as underdogs against those teams that are on the second leg of a back-to-back. And I got to tell you, the Islanders lost last night to the Ducks as favorites. They're like minus 230 faves. Mm-hmm. And now I'm supposed to lay minus 150 the next day. I'd rather take the plus 125. Give me the plus money on the Jackets at home at plus 125.
I see the vision. Yeah. I see the vision. It's a good sports night. You got World Series going on. You got the Jackets at the crib. You got LeBron James.
It's the Jacket.
You got the Kang coming back to Cleveland with his son, Bronny, the prince that was promised. So that'll be quite the scene up in Cleveland tonight. I'm actually looking at Evan Mobley. Mobley, give me 1 3-pointer tonight. Just one at plus 115. He's been playing well. The Cavs have been playing well. Cannot wait to lock into that one. Lakers are 3-1. Cavs are 4-0. Should be a fun scene up there tonight. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Bet365 is the official sports betting partner of the Cleveland Guardians. Download the Bet365 app today. 21 plus only, must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
All righty. Coach of the year. The gap is closing. I think that we have certainly, I mean, listen, I'm always voting for Dan Campbell, usually every year.
He's beyond that now.
I do think that depending if the Vikes can't go into the tank here, man. This is a big game. They've lost 2 in a row. They get the Colts. Like, you cannot.
I like that you guys went out and identified your left tackle position yesterday, trading for Cam Robinson. I think that's smart business by the front office.
My point was I was going back to KOC as being a guy that certainly if the Vikes win the division, that would be in that category.
Absolutely.
Let's hear from Mr. Hawkins on Get Up about what he thinks.
Mike Tomlin is the coach of the year, okay? Look, they come into the season with 2 quarterbacks that nobody wanted. And there's always a saying, if you have 2 quarterbacks, you have none. Well, what is the result? They're 6-2 and on top of the AFC North. Not only that, he makes a decision mid-season that people in his own organization were scratching their head at. But still, he stood on business. And now we're sitting here applauding what the Steelers have, and now we're calling them real-life Super Bowl contenders. And not only that, if you remember a year ago, in the quarterback situation they've had, how there was contention whenever they decided Kenny Pickett wasn't going to start, what his reaction was. Even with all that turmoil, decision-making, Russell Wilson and Justin Fields are kumbaya-ing on the sideline, in the meeting rooms. Like, he has a hole in this locker room that gives them hope, and they know he's the clear leader and decision maker that they trust unequivocally over anything anybody says on the outside.
He's not wrong, but he's not right. It's way too early to say that Mike Tomlin is coach of the year, because if Dan Quinn wins the NFC East, there is, with a rookie quarterback, not a vet, a rookie. And I know that Russ just came back, and I'm not discounting what Mike Tomlin is or what he's done. But if the Commanders win the East, then the Steelers are going to have to win the North, I think, for Tomlin to beat Quinn.
I love your case for Dan Quinn. That is very real. And Vegas agrees with you, because over at Bet365, he's the leader right now at plus 210. And that's a large gap, because tied for second on this list is Kevin O'Connell at plus 650 until. Well, and then you got Sean Payton. Why is Sean Payton on this thing? Well, no,
all of a sudden he's kind of made them.
Here's why I said that. The reason why I said that.
5-3.
Well, here's the reason why I said that. For some reason, my mind in that moment thought he was still in New Orleans. He's not in New Orleans anymore. He is in Denver. But no, he definitely has a good case too, because you mentioned a rookie quarterback with Dan Quinn. He's getting some good things out of Bo Nix recently. Like he really is. And you look at where Denver is in their division, they're sitting in the 2-hole behind Kansas City. Now, they're probably not going to win the division. I don't know if they've faced Kansas City yet. They have not, so that's still in play for them. But I don't think anybody would feel good about making that bet right now. But Sean Payton looks like he's got his quarterback of the future. So now I completely understand why he would be tied for second. Then you get Dan Quinn at plus 750. And speaking of the Chiefs, Andy Reid is there at plus 800, tied with Jim Harbaugh for the fourth best odds for Coach of the Year.
Yeah, and I know you liked Harbaugh. He's in he was in an incredibly tough division. Not really anymore, because Raiders and Denver, but Denver is a winning team, as we just said. But when you're going up against the Chiefs, like, I guess if the Chargers get in as a wild card, then certainly you'd have to, and right now, if the season ended today, they would, then you'd have to give him a lot of votes, because I'm starting to think of, listen, Tomlin, like I said, you're not taking anything away from him at all. Somehow he is pulling this off in this division. Now, the weakness of the Browns is certainly helping, and the fact that Cincinnati really isn't, they haven't lived up to the hype. So
I'll tell you whose odds I like right now that are kind of deep in the weeds for Coach of the Year, and it's D'Amico Ryans. CB's boy, Kevin Stefanski, stole it from him last year, because I thought D'Amico Ryans had a great case, but so did Kevin Stefanski with all the quarterback stuff going on. Currently, he's at 25-1. And he's got right now a 6-2 football team that has dealt with a bunch of injuries. And you just lost Stephon Diggs for the year. So if they mess around and win that division and let's say lose, 3 or 4 games or 4 or 5 games, and he gets them to the postseason, right now, just based off value, I like D'Amico Ryans at 25-1.
Sometimes this goes to the coach with simply the best record. That's happened before. It happened about 5 years ago, I think, when your guy when the Ravens were 14-2 and he wins Coach of the Year, because how can you deny that? But recently, what I've noticed is this goes to the coach who basically just massively surpasses preseason expectations or turns around a franchise. And so Jim Harbaugh certainly has that in his back pocket. So,
but now D'Amico's got some narrative juice that he could play off of if they rip off some nice runs and have a good end of the regular season.
Yeah. It's so rare for someone to win this in consecutive seasons.
Kev? Come on.
Well, that ain't happening.
This would be his third.
Yeah.
Well, you say that.
Because I was looking at the list right here, and Belichick, who won 6 Super Bowls, won Coach of the Year 3 times.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So half. And they were obviously dominating. All right. Those are your pre-snap reads for today. We come back with Hockey and Hounds with Damon Severson. It's game night at Nationwide. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
As Cybersecurity Awareness Month winds down, LifeLock reminds you to update your software regularly. These updates fix security flaws that could be exploited by identity thieves. But don't stop there. LifeLock offers comprehensive identity theft protection that goes the extra mile. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious use of your info, but also takes action to resolve identity theft issues, guaranteed, or your money back. Start your 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Getting ready for more rain and longer nights? We've got you. Right now, you can earn up to $25 in bonus rewards when you buy 2 Sylvania Silver Star Ultra bulbs and 2 Rain-X Quantum Elite wiper blades. More rewards and better visibility at America's #1 lighting destination, AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Offer valid for AutoZone Rewards members. Restrictions apply.
Post Malone is teaming up with Raising Cane's to empower the next generation of artists. For a limited time, 2 exclusive double-sided Post Malone posters are available at Raising Cane's. So post up your combo at Cane's while supplies last and support a good cause. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
Hey, it's Common Man and T-Bone. We've got an appearance coming up at our favorite place to do all our banging, Hollywood Casino Columbus.
We're going to be live Friday, November 1st at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook inside the casino for the top 5 matchup in Happy Valley.
Plus, you can win tickets to the big college football game in Columbus featuring our friends from the Hoosier State on November 23rd. We're giving those away this Friday.
The key is Friday. Come or you're dead to us. Must be 21 years or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Bo Bishop here. Join us for the Make a Difference Gala, High Bank Distillery, November 12th. It's bourbon, food, and fun with Brady Quinn, Bobby Carpenter, and me. The gala benefits the Third and Goal Foundation, making a difference in the lives of veterans. Get your tickets today at 971thefan.com. 21 or older, please drink responsibly.
Nothing makes being outdoors better than having the right gear and the right crew. So here's an idea. Let Mountain Dew supply the gear and you bring the friends. Because when you buy specially marked multi-packs of Mountain Dew, you can collect points and earn epic limited edition outdoor gear. We're talking everything from custom Mountain Dew camp chairs and backpack coolers to exclusive Mountain Dew tents, fishing boats, and more. So buy Dew, collect points, get gear, and get outside with Mountain Dew outdoor gear.
Open to legal U.S. residents 18+. Subject to program terms at dewoutdoors.com and 12/31/24. Void or prohibited.
He's a former coach with 2 sons who played professional basketball. Satch Sullinger's a competitive individual, but his golf game was suffering because of painful joints.
Right, that's real important. The golf game, right. As we get older, we create these bad habits because we're relegated to hit a certain way.
QC Kinetics used regenerative treatments, all natural healing properties from Satch's own body, to restore those damaged joints and get his golf game back on track.
QC Kinetics regenerative medicine is regenerating me, all natural. And that's what I'm about. I'm going to tell everybody why I'm better.
Oh, and by the way, it looks like the competitive Satch is back.
We're all in the same boat, and I'm getting better, and I'm watching them stay old.
Go to QCkinetics.com. Get relief and your game back. Call for your complimentary consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
Shop Meijer this week for monster deals and spooky savings. Save on bulk Fuji or Gala apples, just 99 cents a pound. From creepy to just plain silly, our huge selection of Halloween costumes for the entire family are now 25% off. You'll be the favorite house on the block when you hand out Halloween snack or jumbo-sized candy. Buy 2 bags, get 1 free. And Halloween treat pails are only $1 each. Shop these frighteningly good deals and more in-store or in the Meijer app. Exclusions apply.
When severe weather strikes, seconds count. That's why you need advance warning from 10 Weather Impact. When we say advance warning, that means you'll know when storms will hit and how long they will last, how they could impact you and your family, what you need to be prepared. And you'll know all of it ahead of time. When it's coming, the impact, and what you need to know. All from 10 Weather Impact.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
You'd think that dog conversation wouldn't necessarily blend with hockey talk. And you'd be wrong.
You idiots!
Like a fine wine and dark chocolate, it's going down smooth. Rothman and Ice present Hockey and Hounds.
Sponsored by Telhio Credit Union. If you know Telhio Choice Checking, you know all the perks that come with your account. Find the checking account that fits your needs at telhio.org.
Now, joining the Hockey and Hounds League is Jackets blue liner Damon Severson, a man who skates hard so his dog Reggie can have a better life.
All right, it's Hockey and Hounds brought to you by Telhio Credit Union. He's coming off nearly 25 minutes of ice time versus the Edmonton Oilers in the big win. He's CBJ defenseman Damon Severson. Sevo, thanks for a few minutes here on a game night.
Yeah, no problem, guys. Glad to be having a chance to chat with you guys again.
Yeah, 4-3-1 through your first 8 games. I guess the logical question is, did the experts underestimate what this team is capable of this season? I know it's early, but do you feel like they've underestimated you?
Maybe a little bit, but that's okay. We're fine with being underestimated. If that, as long as we keep winning hockey games, we're not really too worried about, I guess, what the experts are saying or what anybody else is saying, other than what we're worried about in the locker room, and we just want to keep playing good hockey, win some games, keeping the fans happy, and making sure they're enjoying themselves at our games.
You know, Damon, I know one thing that's been a pleasant surprise for all of us watching is the offensive output. And this team, obviously you're on the team, but everyone around you as well is just doing such a great job of lighting up the net. From your perspective, being out there on the ice, being on the ice with these guys in practice, what's gone into this? How have you guys been able to create and generate so much good offense right now?
I think we do have some talent. We do have some underrated skill maybe up front that, people don't really give us credit for per se, but the talent is there, the skill is there. We're playing the right way. We're trying to play on the right side of the pucks, and I feel like we've been doing a fairly good job overall so far, breaking the puck out as defensemen, getting it up to our forwards and letting them kind of go to work. And then on the other side of that, when it comes time to chip pucks in and just do the right things and get on the forecheck, we've been doing a good job hunting the puck and just getting it back. And it's not necessarily the high-flying offense that we're scoring on every goal, but we're going to get some dirty ones every once in a while, and that's what we've been doing.
You mentioned underrated skill. I'm curious in your mind, who are those guys, some of your teammates that you view as underrated, that you believe, that they may deserve a little bit more credit?
Yeah, a couple of guys that just stand out. Sillinger would be one. He works his butt off every night, and he might not get as much credit for the skill side of the puck, but he's got all the talent and the skill that you need to be a high-end octane player in the league. And even a guy that's obviously historically not really been known for the skill side of things, but he's got more skill than people give him credit for, because his hands are usually used for something different. But Matthew Olivier has been fantastic for us as well, and popped a few goals. He's on the body. He brings it every night for us. So got to give a shout out to those two guys that have been playing really good hockey in my eyes for our team so far.
CBJ defenseman Damon Severson with us here on Hockey and Hounds. Game night tonight against the Islanders. Let me take you back to Nashville. What is the challenge, Sevo, of defending in overtime? I know there's a lot of space out there. What's that challenge like? Your instincts tell you, obviously, to bounce out to defend, but instantly you can get behind a play. What is the strategy and what is the kind of instincts that happen during overtime?
Yeah, just trying to be patient, and that was one thing that obviously I got caught with there in overtime in the Nashville game. I was just being too aggressive on the puck carrier, and he ended up making a good cutback move, and I had him the whole way, and unfortunately just lost an edge at the worst time and bailed out there and went down. And then he obviously was able to, there's so much space in overtime that the other guys, it's man-on-man coverage, so the other guys have to cover their guys or else they're going to be open. So just a bit of a tough one there. But, yeah, just trying not to be too aggressive, trying to be patient. When the opportunity presents itself, obviously go on offense. But when the other team has the puck, just try to keep it tight. And I just got a little bit too over-aggressive in that overtime. And unfortunately, we got a point, which was good, but we would have been much happier going home with 2, which we feel like we should have.
You guys on the defensive end and Elvis were so close to a shutout the other night, and I want to ask you specifically about Elvis because I saw your head coach, Coach Dean, mention some growth from Elvis, from him as a teammate and as a leader. You being in a locker room with him, just talk about Elvis and maybe from your perspective, some of the things you've seen him grow, how he's grown as a player, maybe a teammate around you.
Yeah, I think one thing that obviously everybody, when you look back at your season or during the middle of the season, the first thing that everyone looks at is statistics, right? And everybody's worried about their stats and how they're playing and how they're looking. And to be honest, no one, really cares during the season about what statistics look like. The only one we really care about is wins and losses. And obviously we're up in the game. I think it was 6-0 at the time. And, we were on the kill late there and just unfortunately gave one up. They took a shot through traffic and it popped in. But of course he's going to be upset. You want a shutout for the stats and to keep people happy, and just looks better on the scoreboard too for our team. But at the end of the day, we won the hockey game big and we played the right way. We did the right things, and Elvis has been on board with that for sure. So it's a team thing, and he's been a big part of our team so far, as everybody knows the goaltending position is. So moving forward, we're going to need that to continue with just the number one priority being the wins.
Damon, I know it's early, and we mentioned this, 4-3-1 in the 8 games, but we all had questions, obviously, before the season. You go through the tragedy. We thought if there was anything, maybe it would create some tightness and some chemistry early. Can you describe what this chemistry is right now with this team, the tightness of it, how you feel about the relationships that are growing early here in the season?
Yeah, it's unfortunately, an unfortunate way to obviously continue to grow our relationships as teammates and people on and off the ice. But, we're trying to do the best we can to manage that whole situation still. Obviously, it's not lost upon us what's happened at the start of the year, and we had a bunch of the ceremonies and the funeral and everything like that went on. It's not behind us. We didn't just move on from it. It's still with us every day. So we're thinking about Johnny and his family. Each day we come to the rink, and we're trying to play the games like Johnny would want us to play, and try to keep his memory alive, and want to make sure him and his family are happy with our effort every night and how we're conducting ourselves as Blue Jackets and his teammates and people around. So we're trying to grow those relationships, and we're continuing to do that with whether it's dinners the night before on the road or little things at the rink, and fantasy football chatter. We had a good chat today about some fantasy football trades that were happening this morning. So little things like that, where the relationships amongst our teammates are just growing, and we're just realize that every day is very lucky to be in the NHL and getting a chance to live our dreams, and we're doing it with one another. So trying to, like you said, you build some of the best relationships in your life going through these moments, and we're going to try to continue to do that.
So you brought up the fantasy football stuff. We love fantasy football on this show. We talked to Fantilli early in the season about a trade that happened. Now you brought up some more trades. Can you take us behind the curtains a little bit as what's the latest going on with the fantasy football team in that locker room?
The latest as of yesterday, I guess, and today, there was I won't mention any names, but there was a trade made between two guys. It was a 1-for-1 swap, and one guy had recently left the game on I think it was Sunday or Monday. Left the game, and they weren't sure how his injury was going to look, and he ended up getting an out. They made the trade, so one guy made a trade for the injured player, and the other guy was fully healthy and a starter. Both really good players, both starters normally, but the one guy's injured, and they weren't sure about him. The trade went through, and then about an hour later, they announced that the guy he traded for was out for the season. So everybody was giving him a hard time today, and he's saying that the trade should be vetoed by the commissioner and this and that. So it's kind of just some good banter back and forth, but it's all for fun.
So you don't want to tell us who got Stefan Diggs, basically, what you're saying.
Yeah, Stefan Diggs was the guy that was traded, but we have a couple guys who are very active in the trade market on our team in fantasy football, and the one guy finally got bit for how active he is.
All right, there you go. Hey, a couple weeks ago, I pitched a dog, an Aussie mix from Pro Dogs Ohio named Charlotte. A couple named Greg and Angie, who were listening directly to our conversation, wound up adopting her. And it's such a great moment here for the show, as these all are, and we just put it out there in a positive way. So right now, Charlotte, the Aussie mix, is in a home with Greg and Angie and their other dog, and things are going awesomely well. So we thank them so much for doing that and giving Charlotte a forever family. The dog that I'm going to pitch today is a dog from one of my favorite shelters, Gigi's. Gigi's.org is the website. GIGIS.org. They're in Canal, Winchester. And it's kind of a big brown boxer mix named Sova. Not Sevo, but Sova. So I picked him purposely for this. And he's really he's sweet. He's goofy. Loves to kind of lean into people like boxers do. and he's done well with meeting other dogs. He's done well in the group walks and the play groups. In fact, he's kind of taken on the task of being like the helper dog when they try new and slightly like fearful dogs for a play group. So Sova has been good at kind of reading other dogs and hasn't been pushy with them. 3 years young, currently weighs a little bit under 60 pounds. Knows sit, eager to learn a lot more through the rewards-based training. Will bond with the new family. Sova is our dog today, and he's received their full-service vet care, pre-adoption behavior support, microchip, a lot more. If you want to meet Sova or any of Gigi's other ready-for-adoption dogs, go to gigis.org, and I urge you to check him out, and hopefully we can get him adopted too.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I'm glad to hear that last week's dog was adopted, and hopefully all doing well with the new family there. That's fantastic news, and look forward to our conversation next week, and hopefully we got a new home for our young one next week as well.
Yeah. Good luck tonight against the Islanders. They're coming off a back-to-back, so you got to jump on them the way you jumped on the Oilers. That's the plan. Yeah, thank you very much, guys. We'll talk to you again soon. You got it. Damon Severson, Hockey and Hounds, brought to you by Telhio Credit Union. My friends at Telhio, almost a century now, Telhio Credit Union has been helping members reach their financial goals. If you want to experience the trust that comes with nearly a century of commitment, go to telhio.org. They make a generous donation every week on Hockey and Hounds. And special shout out to Rich. Rich from Champaign County, that's Urbana area. He's been helping the cats of Homeless to Home, one of my favorite shelters in the world up in Marion. Rich, you are an absolute hero, and I thank you. Keep doing your thing for the animals. We come back with Tell the Truth next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
The only show where sports talk is eclipsed by food talk.
Oh, nuts.
Common Man and T-Bone.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
The Fan.
We all know Central Ohio's growing fast. It's making traffic worse and life more expensive. That's why voting yes on Issue 47 is so important. Issue 47 will help folks get to work faster and cheaper by creating COTA Rapid Bus Service. That means more routes, better hours, and more reliable service. That will expand access to transportation for everyone in our community, from the elderly to the disabled, to veterans and students. And Issue 47 will make our neighborhoods safer and more walkable by building 500 miles of sidewalks, trails, and bikeways. When we pass Issue 47, we'll get $1 billion in matching funds from the federal government to pay for it. We're already sending our tax dollars to D.C. Let's bring some of that money home to help our community. Issue 47 means safer neighborhoods and a better quality of life for our families. It's an easy call. Vote yes on Issue 47. Paid for by moving Central Ohio forward.
Scotty Vegas here, and November is Veterans Month, a time to celebrate and honor the heroes who have served our country. This November, Awaken 180 Weight Loss is showing their appreciation for active duty veterans and spouses by offering 15% off your entire Awaken 180 program. Free support for life included. It's a thank you for the sacrifices you've made protecting our freedoms and making this country what it is. This is a special. Awaken 180 has never offered a discount, ever. If this incentive can help turn your focus on you, your health, your goals, and your happiness, I say go for it. Do what I did and choose a solution for weight loss. So if you're active duty, a veteran, or a spouse of one, this month is about you. Celebrate Veterans Month with 15% off your Awaken 180 program. And as with all clients, receive free support for life after reaching your goals. Do what I did, and over 23,000 others have done. Take control at awaken180weightloss.com.
APCO Windows, Siding, and Decks is a family company my dad started in 1962. We don't rely on sales gimmicks, so get multiple estimates. Just make sure one of them is from APCO.
Absolutely, absolutely. You can trust APCO.
APCO.com.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
Can't make it to the game? Watch the Fan's pre- and post-game shows live on YouTube. Just search 971 The Fan and click subscribe.
The Fan's YouTube channel is sponsored by Coors Light.
Your home of the Buckeyes. The Fan.
The Christmas cash giveaways now at UDF. With UDrive Plus, 1 in 7 can play to win prizes instantly, including $1,000 weekly by buying specially marked items at UDF. No purchase necessary. Visit udrivecontest.com for official rules.
Here, care is where you need it. With over 350 primary care providers in Central Ohio, expert care is minutes away. See how we care for all of you. at mountcarmelforyou.com.
Bernie Moreno faced multiple lawsuits claiming discrimination against employees.
2 accused him of gender and age discrimination, and the third accuses him of race discrimination. Moreno was sued for failing to pay overtime wages.
At some point in life, we've all experienced that boss. You know, the boss you hope you never work for again. Well, Bernie Moreno is that boss. Bernie Moreno was sued for discriminating against his employees. Like a woman he belittled for being a single mom, and a black man demoted from his position as manager after raising concerns he was being paid less than his white co-workers. And Bernie Moreno was caught failing to pay his employees the overtime they earned. And then Moreno shredded evidence to try and cover it up. A judge ordered Moreno to pay $400,000 to former workers. Yes, Bernie Moreno is that boss. And he most certainly shouldn't be our senator.
I'm Sherrod Brown running for Senate. I approve this message.
Paid for by friends of Sherrod Brown.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Saturday is game day on The Fan.
Sponsored by Riker Chevy.
Every game, every season, your home of the Buckeyes. The Fan. Tell the truth with Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Twin Peaks. Experience the Sports Lodge mentality.
All right, CB, before you take us home, who wins the wrestling ticks?
Oh, yes, good point. It was Tyler. He knew the correct answer was your guy, Brock Bowers.
Right. There you go, Tyler. Enjoy the show, my man. Thanks for listening, Brock Bowers. That's your guy.
Yeah, it's about a connection. We had a connection at Radio Row. All right, CB.
Just a quick update. We talked about the Yankees fan that was at the center of the drama last night with Mookie Betts on that foul ball where he tried to rip it out of his glove.
And the other guy was holding his wrist.
That's right. Well, I don't know about the guy holding the wrist, but I do know, it sounds like Gronk knows the guy that was at the center of this controversy. He calls him Austin, a good college friend. He said he was very passionate and would do and Gronk would do anything for the guy. He's a menace, a wild boy as well. So I think that all applies.
So he's an Arizona Wildcat is what you're telling me.
Sounds like it.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
Yes, it does make sense that Gronk was friends with this guy.
One of his homies.
Yeah. College friends. Listen, I've said our piece about it. I'm sure the dudes were living it up. I understand with maybe trying to catch steal the foul ball from Mookie Betts. But there's no way that once Mookie Betts has that ball, that one guy is holding his wrist and the other guy's trying to pry the ball out of his glove. That's hands off.
His merchandise.
Yeah,
don't touch.
Hands off. You have every right to the ball. You're in the stands. I do believe that.
Yeah.
And plus, to your rule, it's the opposing team trying to get it.
Mm-hmm.
So under Maddie's rules, under ice rules, maybe anything goes. But once that ball is in the glove,
I agree.
It's time to hands off.
Flag on the play. Yeah. Pass interference.
All right, so the first question for today talks about the Texans. They play Thursday night against the Jets. The offense probably, in a lot of people's expectations, hasn't lived up to those expectations so far. It doesn't help that Nico Collins has been on IR with the hamstring. You never know, even when he comes back, if those can linger. And then we just found out that Stephon Diggs is out for the year with the ACL injury. So wide receiver depth is very, very thin for Houston. Tell the truth. Are the Texans still a Super Bowl contender in your eyes with the current wide receiver setup?
First of all, Maddie, tell the truth. Can we as a show uncover who on the Jackets traded for him before the injury?
We got to know.
That's inquiring minds need to need to know that. I should have pushed Sivo a little more on that.
I agree.
Yeah.
I still look at them as a Super Bowl contender because here's the thing. Their defense has been good this year. They're second in the league in yards allowed and third in sacks. So they're getting it done on that side of the ball. I think with Joe Mixon there, he can give them a safe floor with the run game, and Nico will be back. But you bring up a good point about some of those muscle injuries. You just never know if that can flare up again. But I absolutely still view them as a Super Bowl contender. If they can go into the postseason with Tank, Nico, and Joe Mixon with CJ, They can make a lot of noise.
So the key is Nico, absolutely. And if Mixon keeps averaging 100 yards a game, that gives them a really high floor. The division is theirs to lose. And so I'm going to say they're still, you said Super Bowl contender? Yeah, with Nico, I think all things are possible. If you lost him and obviously you lost Diggs, then to just put that all on CJ and Joe Mixon might be an issue. So I'm going to say yes, they're still a contender.
Just find out right now today is true.
Real quick, I want to get the fan poll in because it's about the Jackets real quick. How many points will those Jackets get in the next 2 games? Is it 0-1, 2, 3, or 4?
Next 2 games?
That's right.
2. Win tonight, probably lose to Winnipeg. They're a machine.
So are
Kyle
we.
Connor,
Give me
Scheifele.
4. I don't care.
Are you going all 4?
We've got Austin Matthews, see ya. Connor McDavid, see ya. Who's next? Give me all 4.
That's right.
The truth shall set you free.
Who's Connor Hellebuck? What is he thinking? Right.
Hey, before we go, if you miss anything from our show, Hockey and Hounds with Sevo, Damon Severson, if you miss anything ever, wherever you get your podcast, type in Rothman and Ice. Everything we do from noon to 3. We'll be waiting for you. Subscribe to the pod as well. Wildcard Wednesday on Common Man and T-Bone, and Jeff Rimmer joins at 5:34.
And a gold jacket Thursday tomorrow. Don't miss that. We'll unveil the next Hall of Famer from Canton as we do on the show on Thursdays after the coaches show. And we'll talk to you then. Keep it locked here. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Unlike your deadbeat uncle, we'll never leave you stranded in a ditch when you were 6. This promo may have been a touch too specific. The Fan. This is a Fan Action Update.
Download the Prime Sports Ohio app today or visit primesportsbook.com and use the promo code JUSTSPORTS for a welcome bonus of up to $100. Game 5 of the World Series tonight. Dodgers up 3-1. Yankees are minus 150 tonight on the money line, and the Dodgers are plus 125. After yesterday's win, New York goes from 13-1 to win the series to 7-1. For your Prime Sports Action Update, I'm Scotty Vegas.
We've seen it before. Politicians and lobbyists playing games, drawing voting maps to keep power in their hands, not ours. Courts have ruled Ohio's voting districts unconstitutional 7 times, while our communities have been left out again and again. But this November, you have a chance to change that with Issue 1. Issue 1 will make it illegal for politicians to manipulate voting districts for themselves or their own party. Instead, it creates an open, transparent process where a diverse group of citizens, not politicians, will draw the lines. No more backroom deals, no more gerrymandering, just fairer maps that represent our communities. Issue 1 gives you and me the power to ensure everyone's vote counts. This is about real change, a chance to end the games and make our voices heard. So vote yes on Issue 1, fair representation, and power to the people. Paid for by citizens, not politicians.
The season may be winding down, but there's still time to make the most of Buckeye Lake. At Buckeye Lake Marina, we have year-end deals on boats, accessories, and more to get you ready for next year's adventures. Looking to upgrade? The Buckeye Lake Marina staff is there to help you find the perfect boat at unbeatable prices. Buckeye Lake Marina has a long list of satisfied customers and want you to be the next. Don't wait. Sail into savings at Buckeye Lake Marina before the year ends and find the boat that's just right for you. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com for more.
There was a time where I woke up every day and my knee kept bothering me. I wondered, would it ever get better? I'd like to go out and run. I'd like to go play golf. I'd like to hang out with my friends at the pool, go off the diving board, play with my kids, do the stuff that I wanted to do. I looked at having surgery, thought that's not the answer. Don't want to do that. I've had plenty of surgeries in my life. I didn't want to be on medication and just keep pounding ibuprofen and pain pills. That wasn't going to be the answer. So I want to get real, lasting relief, as thousands of patients will tell you. So I went over to QC Kinetics and talked to Dr. Ray Tesner. I even brought my dad with me and said, hey, he's got a bad knee too. He's at a little later stage in life. Could this work for him? QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in cellular therapies, including your own body's healing properties. That's what I wanted, to get healed up and do it the natural way. The choice is yours. So go check them out at qckinetics.com/Columbus. They've got offices in Dublin and in Gahanna, or call 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544.
Trust & Will knows that you're likely celebrating a loved one's birthday this month because fall is the most popular birthday season in America. And Trust and Will celebrates by protecting what matters most. Trust and Will makes estate planning easy and affordable, designed by attorneys but customized by you. Visit trustandwill.com with offer code Columbus for 10% off. That's trustandwill.com, offer code Columbus. Trust and Will is an online service providing legal forms and information. It is not a law firm and is not a substitute for the advice of an attorney.
As Cybersecurity Awareness Month winds down, LifeLock reminds you to update your software regularly. These updates fix security flaws that could be exploited by identity thieves. But don't stop there. LifeLock offers comprehensive identity theft protection that goes the extra mile. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious use of your info, but also takes action to resolve identity theft issues, guaranteed, or your money back. Start your 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Getting ready for more rain and longer nights? We've got you. Right now, you can earn up to $25 in bonus rewards when you buy 2 Sylvania Silver Star Ultra bulbs and 2 Rain-X Quantum Elite wiper blades. More rewards and better visibility at America's #1 lighting destination, AutoZone.
Get in zone,